Oh, did you get Maldini? Let's start with that.
No, I didn't get Maldini.
A skill issue.
Yes, most certainly a skill issue. I enjoyed doing it though. You got lots of rewards for it, and it was golden goal, which was some of the issue of why it was so random. But I got like 20. I think you needed 25 wins. I got 23, so just missed out. But we're talking about, won't we, in group this week? I think I'd rather not get these things every time than me be able to get it every time, because if I can get it every time, a lot of people can get it every time. Do you know what I mean?
I think you're selling yourself a little bit short. You're a pretty good player.
I know, but there's a lot of pretty good players, isn't there? So I think, it's probably nice to keep them a little bit more exclusive. I just played a dickhead, actually, just before we jumped on. He had Maldini and Macon, and I already got 10 wins, so I wasn't fussed. He scored 2 goals. I quit. Wasn't asked. And he sent me
he messaged you.
Oh, he definitely messaged me saying, "Foot in your gamer tag, LOL." I went, no way. Foot in a gamer tag.
You're not allowed to have that as your gamer tag because douchebag said so.
Yeah. So he's been messaging me a little bit. Absolute cock end. Do you know what I mean? Absolute cock end.
That's what's great about playing on PC. If they want to message you, they have to send you a friend request first. So you get all these friend requests, and you're like, oh, yeah, you want it that bad. Fuck you.
Yeah. Don't give him it. Don't give him it.
No. You can send quick messages and just say, like, good game,
Yeah. So, how these people don't get strangled in real life is baffling.
Well, they don't act like that in person.
Do you know what I mean?
They're too nervous to do it in person. That's the whole. That's the glory of the internet.
I suppose it is. Yeah, that's what.
It lets people be somebody that they're not.
That's what Twitter is, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's.
It gives cowards room to be a badass.
Don't get me wrong; he might just beat me up in real life as well. But
he might.
I'd at least tell him to fuck off.
He's just jealous that he doesn't have foot in his gamer tag. Matt, do you have foot in your gamer tag?
Nope.
I got it in mine, Paul.
Mets gaming.
Yeah.
Mets gaming. You need to put TTV on there like everybody else.
Yeah.
I don't. I
play
don't
so
dabble
many Twitch
in
TVs.
Twitch.
Oh, I see so many Twitch TVs, and sometimes I'll go, "Oh, they've got a Twitch." I'll go have a look. No videos,
not
no
streaming.
nothing, no nothing, not streaming. Like me, pretty much.
What the fuck's up with that?
Oh, I've got a child living in my office. So
Whoa.
it's,
Let's clarify.
it's
Hurry,
difficult.
quickly.
Yeah, I've just got a child in my office.
What? A miscellaneous child?
Just a random one, yeah. And
Okay.
if I open the door, they'll escape. So I try not to come in here a lot. No, my granddaughter is here a lot, so yeah, she lives in here. So
That's so much better.
there's dolls and
Welcome to Stormers Britain.
yeah, there's dolls and whatever this shit is. Yeah, unicorn stuff everywhere and whatnot. I'm lucky I can get on my computer to do a podcast. Actually, she's usually only pissing about with Roblox or some really obnoxious American playing Minecraft.
I think all these little games I always see on Paul's activity stream, I think that's really him. He's just blaming it on the granddaughter.
Do you know what? I forget sometimes that people can see that because she's usually on my X account. Yeah, Dress to Impress. That's my favourite on Roblox.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Let's get back to foot.
Let's get back to foot.
FC, or however let's be proper. Matt, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay. Haven't played a ton since we last spoke because real life stuff, weather's been nice. Spent a lot of time out and about touching grass with the missus this weekend because it's Easter holidays over here. I don't know if you guys get a long weekend for Easter like we do, but it's been less time for FUT, but the time I did put in, I've mostly played Rivals and I've been experimenting with new formations and getting my ass handed to me. I'm trying to come up with an effective three at the back system like I've done in previous years, but I just find that you can't keep the three defenders close together. It's usually like the centre one stays in the middle and then the other two become fullbacks. You just get split apart really easily. So I can score a lot of goals with my system, but I concede too many as well. So I don't know if our good folks in the Discord can help me with that one. I know we're supposed to help our people out who are listening to the podcast, but I need their help this time. Like, why can't I keep my three centre-backs relatively close together? I don't understand why they part so easily. But yeah, it's killing me. So it's almost like no one wants to play five back, and then you're therefore pretty much condemned just to playing normal four at the back formations, which gets a little bit stale in my opinion. So that's where I'm at. Yeah, it's been difficult to try and get out of 4-2-3-1 at the moment. The tried and tested.
Yeah, I kind of feel that too. Something I think I mentioned it last week on the pod. I've been using my fullbacks as wingback on balance just to kind of get them involved a little bit more, and you can just as easily send them on a run with the LB or L1, whatever platform you're on. But I'm still in the 4-2-3-1 with my plethora of cams with 99 dribbling, and yeah, it's very safe. It's vanilla. It's not exotic, but it gets the job done. Yeah, it's not like some kind of three-back with like 5 attackers, one of those risky ones you throw on at the end of the game just to YOLO.
Yeah.
We should do one of those on a weekend league, just like run a 3-1-4-2 or... Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Begs are not using that. I've been using that 4-1-2-1-2 a little bit more, the narrow. And yeah, I really like it.
It just feels too narrow, though. You don't find it too narrow? We're all gameplay experts here, right?
Yeah, but I think I trigger my fullbacks a lot, so I'm using them for a little bit of width. And yeah, it is, but you're creating so many gaps through the middle that I found I don't have to go out wide a lot. Do you know what I mean? Or sometimes I'll just dribble out there, just not been there in a while, just go have a look.
This reminds me of a conversation we had several years ago.
But yeah, I remember the one. But do you know what I've really got on with this week and really struggled with it early on? The low-driven shots. I've been using that Dream Chasers Bailey, been using Musiala's FUT Birthday as well, and yeah, I've been absolutely loving the low drivens, and they're a little bit too good at times where they just go under the keeper and you're like, if your keeper's not got footwork, they're in trouble. Like, it feels a bit broken. Don't get me wrong, you've got to be in space, you've got to be on the strong foot. But if you are, it seems like a guaranteed goal with those cards. And I think there's an Evo coming for a striker that might have low driven plus again. So I might have to get that Suarez boosted this time. I missed it last time. I didn't do it. I put it on my Bradford City striker. But yeah, I've been looking at that R9 as well, but it's way out of my price range.
Matt, have you made any upgrades to your team?
So last week when we were on, I packed a lot of stuff over the start of the Immortals promo and whatnot, and it's kind of like forced me to like really rejig my team in a way I don't want to. So like the whole Serie A identity of my team's kind of gone now, which I'm not very happy about. So I'm kind of like in the middle of a change, if you like. But I don't feel like it's that possible to really pack anything that's gonna is gonna be in your team as of next week. Everything's open season, right? Once team of the season starts, how many of these cars that you own are going to be remotely interesting to you, competitive, whatever it happens to be? We're all going to be changing our teams up in the next 7 days massively. So I'm not involved in anything in the market at the moment, other than I've got some very high-rated team of the week fodder, as per what Jake told us to do last week, which was good advice. I made some money flipping the low-rated Immortal Icons before they brought out the SBC, where you could trade them in, which was a good foresight by Jake's part as well. But just not hitting anything. I'm just like doing SBCs and accumulating more fodder rather than anything that can really go in the team. So I expect my team to change quite significantly again once team of the season starts, and not much of what I've currently got I'm overly keen to keep, if I'm honest. Like, everything's on the line. No one's safe, essentially speaking.
Yeah. I had a bit of a rejig this week as well. I got a bit bored with the players I were using, so we're like, right, we need to use some different cards. I used that Baku at right back instead of Cafu for most of last week, and he's so good and really cheap as well. I already mentioned Leon Bailey. That card's about 75k, I think. He's really good. And don't hate me, I packed that Foot Fantasy Rashford from Rivals Rewards, I think. This is wild. At the time,
I was wondering how long it was going to take you to say that.
well, I wanted to discuss this anyway because EA have done a dirty with this card. It was 3.5k, I think, something like that. And then they decided to drop his price. Went back into packs, so he was probably going to drop anyway. But they didn't wait for him to drop naturally. They just dropped his price range by 1 million coins to 2.4 mil. So imagine you're listing your Rashford up for 3 point whatever, and you just press relist because you're not expecting anybody to drop the price range by 1 mil, and then it just insta sells for 2.4 mil. Like, that is just such a shitty move from them, because, yeah, 1 million, like, you're just going to lose 1 million coins immediately. And people can say, oh, yeah, well, really, you should, check before you relist. But
Yeah,
I
who
think,
does that, though? That's like...
yeah, and don't get me wrong, it's 2 mil now, but people have already lost those coins on that card. And I would be absolutely fuming if I'd not backed him untradeable. But it's just a shitty move. Like, you're a customer, you've got these coins, and EA just like, do you know what? We don't care that you're going to lose 1 million of your coins. We're going to do it. Not say anything about it. And yeah, fuck you guys.
Did we expect an adjustment to come, or was that completely out of the blue?
No, just out of the blue. Out of the blue. And
it does ask you, are you sure?
It does ask you, are you sure? But, and it went extinct for a while because people were snapping him up at 2.4 mil. Like I say, he's been in packs now for, since Friday. So he's now 2 mil. But yeah, have helped him along to that price.
Do you think they did it intentionally?
No, I don't. I just think it's incompetence.
Yeah.
But it sucks either way. And I hadn't had a look to see if it's affected any other cards, but I just saw that one and thought, dickheads. Really?
I mean, yeah, I can see both sides of it, but it does suck because...
What do you mean?
I mean, there's a prompt in there to ask you, are you sure? Like, maybe it's just my perspective. Like, you trade way more than I do, but if I have a card that I'm listing that's that expensive, I'm looking before I list it.
I really.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what
But
I've been?
I'm not a trader though.
Yeah. Well, I've had a Lucio that I've bought and sold about 10 times probably over the last 2 weeks. And yeah, even with him, I've just been like, yeah. The only time I've been changing it is if I've been listing overnight for 6 hours, but I've just been relisting. But since this happened, I have been checking every single time, because it's a lot in it. And I suppose if you've got this is a warning, isn't it? If you have got a card that's worth a lot of coins, coins that you won't be happy about losing, check before you list. Yeah.
So, since we're on EA, I have a compliment for EA, and then I have a gripe, which is par for the course. But the cosmetic evos, I really love them. The nostalgic team of the season vibes, I really want to put it on some cards. But what I've been railing about all year is what I'm concerned about is not being able to use it after I purchase it. Put it on. If I add like 5-star skills to a player or add a playstyle to a player later, I'm going to lose it and I'll never get it back. They really need to put that in the game, because you're selling somebody a product and you're really leasing it to them. You're not selling it to them. You're letting them have it for a determined amount of time until they upgrade the card again and they lose it. In fact, we ran a poll in the Discord, and it was 87% of the people said they would be more willing to purchase if they could put it on and take it off as they pleased, like normal skins in every other video game that we play. So I really think they're missing a trick with that. It can't be that difficult to code. I just refuse to believe that it's that difficult. It's probably just not a priority for them. But it's monetization that they're missing out on, because I'm not going to purchase it. I might purchase one. I'm not purchasing all 3 if I can't use them at my disclosure. You know what I mean? At my discretion. So where are you at with that one, Matt?
Yeah, it's a massive oversight. I guess there's a little vindictive part of me that thinks, well, they can make more money off you if they can keep make you change and pay to change that skin on the card, and okay, you lose it, so you're going to keep buying more skins if you want that particular card to look attractive as you evo it. I don't think that's what they've done, but they might get some residual benefit from the fact that's just the way it is. It just scream of it's not something that they thought out to the full when they started implementing this earlier on this year, and hopefully it'll be more of a thing in next year's game. But I don't know, I don't see, if you're putting those type of team of the season cosmetics on like 92 rated cards, that you're going to get much more opportunity to evo them in this game cycle. But you are right to have a gripe with it, absolutely. We've just known what the status quo is from the beginning, and yeah, you're right, this absolutely shouldn't be the way that it is, but we know that it has been now, and you just got to be very careful on who your evo candidates are, and make sure that when you're paying to stick one of these skins on a card, you're happy that that's where they're going to be probably for the rest of the game, otherwise you're prepared to lose it. And I guess it becomes a cost sort of benefit analysis of what's more important, upgrading the card or keeping it looking pretty. And some people will just prefer to keep the cosmetic of the card. I think for what most Evos are at this stage are quite incremental, unless you're going for like a total conversion Evo where you're upgrading a low rated card to something that's like 90 rated. Otherwise, how much benefit are we actually getting from Evos at this point? Probably not much.
Yeah. That's actually interesting, because we saw a leak this last week about Evos, or not really Evos, but Playstyle Pluses. And that kind of leads me to my next question is, Team of the Season, we're going to get cards with 4 Playstyle Pluses. Do we think we start to get Evos with 4 Playstyle Pluses? Maybe like some big juicy ones that cost a lot?
Yeah. I think they'll do it like they did at Team of the Year, where like they drop in 3 Playstyle cards, they'll drop an Evo with that and charge you whatever. But just quickly back to the cosmetics, I'd have spent 150k on all 3 of those if I had cards on them. If I had cards that I thought, right, that's going to be on there for a while, my icon that I did, the Become Immortal icon, will I lose icon chemistry if I put that cosmetic on him? I'm not sure.
Depends.
So
You can look at it, so you can go in and preview the card, look at the profile of the card, and it'll tell you what card type it is. And if it changes it, it'll be in there. That's what I would do.
Right, I'll have a look at that. But I'd have bought all three of them if I knew they were going to stay on cards, forever. But yeah, we're just waiting at the moment.
Yeah. Sorry, I got sidetracked there for a second. What about... So right now we got the re-release in packs. I saw a lot of cards in the re-release team that look kind of like fillers. A lot of Team of the Weeks in there that really no one wants. Maybe a handful of them. Is this just a filler for Team of the Season? Is that all this is? Just something to get people to open packs with?
Yeah, I think the disappointing aspect of this is about the time where in previous years we'd have had the live Team of the Season. So, the stuff that people vote for, community Team of the Season, whatever. And that's so much more fun than what they're doing here, just re-releasing old content. Most of these I wouldn't be interested in packing, even at the really high end. There's no incentive to go after any of these, especially with like cash money. So whether it's just a case of giving the content teams a 1 week holiday or whatever, because I'm sure they're going to be working very hard for the next 2 months, which I'm not necessarily against. Everyone kind of knows the cycle of events now and how it works, and you'd be a little bit silly or misinformed to really invest a lot of time, coins, or cash into anything prior to Team of the Season at this point. But yeah, it's dead. And I thought Immortals was dead. This is even more dead. And basically, whether it's to do with seasonality, they know more people are going to be out and about doing things other than playing video games, or they knew that Verdansk was launching on Warzone, so you get a lot of casual player base doing that for the last couple of weeks. Whatever it happens to be, it's just not good for the people who are playing this game every day. It's a nothing burger. The showdowns are much more interesting, but even those aren't great on this occasion. I don't think the particular cards are selected don't excite people. I don't think.
We got some results on those showdowns, right? That we talked about last week, the ones that took a detective to find out where the fixtures were.
Yeah, so the Eredivisie ones played over the weekend. So Bruno Martins Indy, which is a former Stoke player, so that's cool for me. And Van den Bommen, I think his name is, from Ajax, were the winners in that one. So there's a good Sebastian Haller card there that didn't get upgraded that will jump right into a bunch of Evos, including that, whatever the one is that puts your strength up to 99 rated, that came out in the last few days. So even though they didn't get the showdown upgrade, you can put them into an Evo and probably still very usable, so it's not a complete disaster. So that's one good thing about the trade-off and not getting the desired result for the card you wanted. You can go and do something with it that's more to your pleasing. So that's kind of cool.
These are the ones that are linked to the Eredivisie that is in objectives, aren't there? So you get rewards for watching them. We've had the La Liga one, we've had the Eredivisie, which were on last night or night before. And next, I'm presuming it'll tell us in objectives it's Bundesliga, because tonight we got Poulsen, Reina, Zagadou, and Bernardo. And it's it's a bit of fun, isn't it? You can get a card upgraded. They're not amazing cards, but if you're running a Bundesliga team, there's some nice options for you there, isn't there?
What the showdown upgrade looks like yet. I'm hoping that Martin's Indy one could be quite nice, actually. But we'll have to see. They're very slow to do these upgrades still, which has historically been a problem.
They were quite quick with the last one, so I was wondering if they'd come out tonight, but they haven't done, have they?
The one from a few weeks ago for the Saudi League one, which was Laporte. I can't remember. Was it Milinkovic Savic, the alternative? I did both of those because I would have been quite happy if either of them won or if there was a draw. They both got a small upgrade. But that Laporte's in my starting 11 now. He's a really good centre back.
They were different though, them though. They were showdowns, those ones.
Yes, I'm just saying, like,
all right.
I think showdowns generally are the best content in this whole game.
Yeah.
I just wish they did more of them. Like, I like the fact that it gives you something to invest in real life football results. And I think cosmetically, I think they're the nicest looking cards in the game once they get upgraded. And that becomes a bit of an issue when then you want to Evo them, you lose that, which is exactly Hunter's point. Like, I'd like to Evo him and keep that showdown winners cosmetic, but you can't, which is a bit disappointing.
Well, that's the thing with these ones. Like, so many more people will watch real life football if these cards were proper showdown cards, rather than trying to force people into watching an esport. Like, I usually have it on in background, Foot Rewards. You know what I'm like? I'll just have it on. And it was actually quite entertaining, the Eredivisie one. But
Tell the truth, Paul.
no, it was. Do you know what I mean? I always like to see what they're up to. They had unlimited budget as well, so I was like, what? It's rare you see nowadays guys being able to have an unlimited budget. They did it in a fancy art gallery as well in the middle of Amsterdam, which were pretty cool. Not exactly the place for an e-sport, but it were pretty cool. Yeah, it were all right, but I wish they'd put that energy into showdowns and us have, you know, instead of these four cards representing games that are on this week, and especially like we're getting to the back end of the season now. There's loads of games that are really, really important. Get people I suppose it doesn't bring money into them, does it? Getting people watching those.
Well, they had an Evo this week that should have got you excited, right? You can put another Evo player from your favorite team because it was the Sunday League ringer.
Yeah, really excited, thinking brilliant, but no, I didn't have any cards that fit it. So
really,
yeah,
you couldn't start a new one.
I could if I'd quick sold or put my other one into an SBC, but the cards I've already Evo'd are already pretty good. Do you know what I mean? I've put 2 or 3 or 4 Evos together to get them up to 87 or 85. Yeah, so it were the Sunday League ringer one, but I love the concept of it. I really do.
Yeah.
I just wish I had cards that went into it.
The cool thing with that is that they're getting like close to high end stats, but with a low rating. So you would hope there's a potential somewhere in the next few weeks where you can do some really juicy Evos with those, because there's still so much room for growth based off the overall rating, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're all hoping for anyway.
There really is. Like, I've got a couple now that are like 74. There were the silver ones, 74 and 74 rated, but now I'm being able to put these Hawk ones or Gladiator on as well, and they're only going up to 75 or 76, but they've got 88s and 93s like all over the shop, so these are going to be absolute beasts at some point. Well, they're pretty good now, but you know they're going to be belters.
It'd be good to using that cup too with the rating restrictions, right?
Well, you couldn't use silvers in one of them, so I got scuppered there, but now I've put it over 75. I've put this Gladiator one onto it. Now he's a 75. I'll be able to use him. Just going back to that chemistry thing with the retro cosmetic Evos, it changed it to a retro FIFA 19 rarity. So his icon rarity will go if you put those onto those ones that they become immortal Evos, which to be honest, chemistry's not really an issue now, is it? People have got so many icons and stuff, it doesn't really matter too much, but yeah, it does a little bit if they play for Bradford City. Or whoever, if you haven't got other Bradford City cards in your team.
Yeah. I ended up doing it. I did another player from MLS. He was a 58 rated right mid, and now he's up to 74. But I chained it with Gladiator first, starring role, then Sunday League Ringer. And if you put Hawk 2 on him, that's dangerously close to, you know.
Yeah.
But if you put that on him, it goes to a 75. That's 2 weeks in a row we were able to use that, by the way.
Phenomenal. Can we do a hat trick? Can we get a hat trick next week?
Yeah, we'll make it happen. But now he's a 75 rated, but he's got 94 pace, 90 shooting, 88 passing, 94 dribbling, 56 defending, and 87 physical. But he's a cam right wing striker, so don't really care about the defending part.
What are his reactions and composure and dribbling? Because, like, I've had a few recently where I've done Evos and I'm like, oh, this is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Then I look a bit closer and it's absolutely fucked. One or two of the dribbling stats, done it?
Yeah.
I've had a lot of that recently.
It took me a while to find him, and he's the perfect one because he's got 93 composure, 93 dribbling, 93 ball control, 93 reactions, 93 balance, and 99 agility. So he's going to be good.
Yeah, he's going to be good. Yeah, that's one thing to really watch out for when you're doing Evos, innit?
Reactions
you look at a
and
card
composure.
and you're like, wow, look at these stats. And he'll have 90 stats across most of his dribbling stats, but there'll be one that's 73.
Kills it.
And it's usually a really important stat as well, where most of those dribbling stats are quite important, aren't they?
But EA have been doing a really good job about that with these Evos, though. They've
they
caught
have,
on to that fact that nobody really cares about these Evos that do nothing to composure. You know, you can have a 95 rated card with 65 composure. He's fucking useless.
Yeah.
So they've been doing a really good job about that here lately. So hopefully they keep that up.
Yeah.
It's weird. I just complimented them twice in the same episode.
Wild.
What about the team of the season schedule? Did you guys see that? That was, I guess, leaked. I don't know if it's real or not, but I posted it in our chat. It looks like on the 25th, they're going to start with Ligue 1 and Eredivisie. And also, what is that? Is that the Arkema Premier League? And the following week will be Premier League. So on and so forth. I'll post it in the Discord. Like I said, I don't know if this is legit or not, but it came from one of those leakers. So it's weird starting it with Ligue 1, though. Usually they start with Prem, right? Something big?
Yeah.
Or eFigs or...
Yeah, I think League One will be pretty hyped. I've seen some of the not leaks, but people have been posting random mock-up cards, and some look real good. That Vatina will be unbelievable if he gets, a 93 or 94 rated card, because his winter wild card. Yeah, his winter wild card is still really, really good. Like, don't get me wrong, he's falling out of favour a little bit now, but when those cards came out, he was brilliant.
I saw ASY Foot tweeted out a 97 rated Dembele with 4 playstyle pluses.
If they put like a good finishing playstyle on him, it's game over. Best goal in the game.
They gave him 81 physical, which is wild because he's historically not a physical player at all.
Yeah.
So if he's got any kind of strength about him, he could be a terror to deal with.
Is his SBC still out as well? Like, and I get it, it's team of the season. It's, you can't really.
Yeah, if they give him finesse and low driven, can you imagine how OP that card will be? Because it's like the best dribbling card in the game.
Yeah. Well, I imagine with these 4 playstyle pluses early on, you're not getting 4 good playstyles.
No.
Are you? Do you know what I mean? But it's definitely going to be interesting because you're going to get 2 or 3 good ones, I should imagine.
Yowzers.
Yeah.
I think that'll be like a cool one though. Like PSG this year is so well balanced compared to what they normally are. Everyone just wants Messi, Neymar, Mbappe, etc.
Yeah.
We don't have to like deal with that bullshit anymore. Like they've actually got some really cool players that are worth building a squad around, whether it's Kvaratskhelia, Vitinha, Dembele, etc. Like plenty of cards that you'd be happy to pack. And then there's been some like outliers in League this year, like is it Berif, the Danish striker for Monaco, who came out of nowhere this season. They signed him from Scandinavian football, and he's had like high 90s pace and quite high physical for the whole game. He's had multiple Team of the Weeks. He'll get one, and that card could be incredible if you're a counter-attack player like who's good at getting in behind. That'll be a really good card. So normally I wouldn't be asked about Liga, but I think it'll be worth having a look at. And if they throw up a few curveball like OP cards, it'll be good from EA's perspective of draining the swamp, like getting people to commit all their save packs and FIFA points early on and getting them to reload by the time Premier League comes out. And I think that's exactly what they're trying to do here. If you let everyone give everybody what they want, which is Premier League day one, okay, yeah, they'll spend there, no problem, but how likely are they to reload for subsequent releases? So I kind of see where they're going with that. And, I'm not necessarily against it. Just keep the good content coming in.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think League One's going to be really, really hyped, and going to be some cards that are going to be really good throughout the whole of Team of the Season. Is it that Doué plays right wing? He might get one. Left wing does he play? I think, yeah, he might get one. Barcola. There's so many options. It's really going to be interesting.
It's hard not to just look at like a PSG 11, but there will be others, obviously.
Yeah.
But there's so many candidates just from PSG that you go because of how good their season's been. Way better than we've seen in the last years when they went for the Galactico approach. Didn't work out so well for them. But
yeah. Oh, speaking of PSG, did you see the road to the final player pick we got? So we got that Lee Kwang In and De Jong. But you have to choose one or the other.
I'd like that De Jong, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, I think, especially now, like, there's so much fodder you can get for free with the current grind that's on. Pretty much unlimited fodder. They've priced this SBC though for De Jong, so it means you're having to, if you're a PSG fan, you're having to pay up for a De Jong. You're playing De Jong price for your Lee Kwang In.
One more time, please. One more time.
Lee, I keep wanting to call him Kwang. It's Lee Kang In.
Leak one in. The best one is your man from Wolves, Wanky Chan, who my missus just shortens it to Wanky Chan.
Wanky Chan.
She's very casual like that.
Yeah.
Say no more.
Is he related to Jackie?
Oh, Hunter.
That
Not even the same
joke.
nationality.
Sorry, that was terrible. That was awful. We'll move on. You know what really sucks about this is I'm going to have to wait until May 30th for MLS Team of the Season.
Are you saving packs for that?
I mean, I thought about it, but I'm going to be able to afford every card anyway. Nobody's going to be buying MLS Team of the Season cards, except for one, maybe Messi, but maybe Suarez
probably.
if he gets one.
Yeah, I'm
Other
talking
than
about
that,
saving. Yeah, it's everybody else is going to be like,
yeah.
You never know.
I am saving packs. I don't know what I'm saving them for, but I'm saving them just because I don't want this shit that's in packs now.
Yeah, I've got so many packs saved because with this best of, they've not even given us the best of.
Well, they can't. They're about to give you the bestest of.
Well, the thing is, it's just there's some nice cards that have been in previous promos which aren't necessarily game breaking, but yeah, just give us more than that. Like, nobody wants those Team of the Weeks. If you want a Team of the Week, you can go to the store and get 3 for next to nothing, or you can go do one of the SBCs that gives you a Team of the Week. Just no need.
So they're trying to sell us right now on like an 8-year-old used vehicle with 100,000 miles on it, knowing that next week they're going to put out the 2026 model, which is going to blow these out of the water. They're trying to double dip us. I'm not falling for it, man.
Yeah.
One other thing we talked about in our group chat this week was this season pass, this premium season pass that seemed to be in the headlines on X, Twitter, whatever, socials. A lot of people had mixed reviews about it. I don't mind it because you're getting a product that you're purchasing. You know exactly what you're getting. You're not purchasing an awful odds chance at a card in a pack that you know you probably won't get, and you'll be pissed off after you do it. I think this removes a lot of that element, and I actually like it. What about you, Matt?
I knew you'd come to me with this. So, in principle, not against it whatsoever. My issue is I don't trust EA to manage the content aspect of it as well as they should, given their track record this season of really messing up the diversity of card in the game. Like every team I play against is so similar at the moment. And I think with a season pass, particularly late game, only the people who play really competitively are going to buy it. We're all going to get the same rewards out of it, which means they're all going to implement the same cards out of that season pack into their main team, which you're going to come up against again and again and again. So it's like, if it had been a case of giving you something that doesn't really affect gameplay, so in your typical, let's say, Call of Duty season pass, you get a lot of cosmetics. So they could have done kits that aren't available to people without the season pass, cosmetic evos in general. So rather than getting a certain card, you get to select who you're going to put that evo onto and create something more unique than just getting Ribbery at the end, which we know's the end of the path for the season pass. It just disappoints me that I know at the competitive end, which is where most of us sort of fall into, we're hardened foot players, even if we don't play as much as we used to. We're still in that sort of top 5% of people who turn up and play regularly at a semi-high level, relatively speaking. We're just going to come up against the same shit over and over again. It'll just make the game more boring. That's my qualm. Not that they're doing a season pass and charging you for it. It's just that the content's going to be super stale. Even more so than what we've seen up until this point with Zidane's and Maradona's and all that kind of good stuff. If they enable people to do something more unique, or it just gave you a bunch of cosmetics and you put them wherever you want, I'd be all in for that. But yeah, I'm just fearful for any time they try and control the direction in which people's team goes in, they win, essentially. Like, just get you to build teams the way they want you to build them and follow a certain path and get funneled in a certain direction. And I think it harms the diversity of the game. So, season pass, paid for, no problem. But do I trust them to do it properly? No.
Yeah. I'm quite looking forward to it because I think they can mix it up and do something different. You know, you get exclusive evos, or and there's the cards that come through it are not necessarily going to be exclusive either, because a lot of people are going to be paying for the pass who play a lot. But I would rather pay something and get a better product. But like we say, we'll have to wait and see what that product is, because Rebury being at the end of it, or whatever some of the leaks have been, Rebury's not been good this year at all. Like, nobody's hyped about Rebury cards. I don't care if you give him 7 play styles. Like, he's not really going to be the one, I don't think. I feel like we should have options, or a 5-player player pick with different cards that are, so that people can be a little bit different and not just get one cards. But this is a new thing, isn't it? Like, well, we're going to have to see how it goes. I think we're getting it now so that they can trial it for FC26 and get it all figured out. I think, but like how elsewhere, there'll be issues, I imagine, but they'll get there in the end.
I think the viability or how it impacts the game is very different from releasing a season pass now and the game's kind of cooling down to how it is when most of the player base who are around for like week 1 next year, if they release one then, I'd imagine the take-up will be far higher, and therefore the impact it has on the game in general will be much higher if they're putting semi-pay-to-win content into it, which it kind of sounds like it. It's perhaps not so much now. If we say like Ribery will be like 95 rated or something, but it won't break the game. But if they give you something at the beginning of next year that's quite a bit higher than the power curve in terms of what people are getting from packs or evos, that really impacts like where the game is going. I think we kind of saw during early Team of the Year when they did, was it the Avalanche Evo or one that came shortly after that, that was a Team of the Year striker card, and that was like so far ahead of the power curve it was scary. Like they need to be quite measured in what they're prepared to release, because if you're paying for something that not many other people are, you'd expect to get some sort of advantage or significant benefit. You don't want just marginal gains, right? But you can go too far as well. Particularly early on, you can upset the balance quite significantly, I think. But people would expect to get that for the cost of a season pass, I would have thought.
Yeah, I think at beginning of game, if I'm getting an Evo that I can take a bronze or a silver card up to being usable, that'll be worth it for me. Do you know what I mean? Every season, if I can Evo or Bradford City card to a level that's usable, I'll buy that season pass every season just on that.
Has anyone released any info on what the pricing is for this yet?
No.
I think I saw 3,000 FIFA points or 500k. That's what's being put out there. I don't know if that's official.
Yeah.
So what
or
we
not.
talk about, £30, something like that.
Something like that.
I don't think it's been made official yet, but I've seen that price as well.
What's Nate? Wait, what's his the foot accountant? He posted a video about it, and that's the thumbnail. I'm looking at it right now. It says season pass, 3,000 FIFA points, 500,000. That could be a guess. I'm not saying
that sounds quite a lot, doesn't it? When you consider that a season in foot as we know it right now doesn't last very long.
Well, it depends on the length of the season. If it's 50 days, yeah, I mean, I think that's like Marvel Rivals is about the same price as far as dollars go, and the current season it just started. It's like 80 days. Yeah. So yeah, if
so
it's
if they're
80
going to change
days,
the
that's
length
definitely
of seasons to be more like other games, sweet, no problem. But if they're keeping it as it is now, where they're very short, that's a big premium.
But it's
It'll
also
be for team of the
giving you
season, won't it? It'll be for team of the season, and that'll be what, 8 weeks?
at least I would think
Something like that, yeah.
6 to 8 weeks.
If it's that sort of length, then it's, at this stage, 500k is not. Well, it depends what you're getting, doesn't it? It's a lot if you're getting fuck all back for it, but we'll see. We'll see.
Regardless of the content in the season pass, if it works like other season passes in other games, what you're buying is time, right? You're getting a head start. You're getting levels. So if you buy let's say if there's 40 levels and you buy the season pass, I'm just spitballing. Let's say they give you 20 levels. That's half of it done already, so you don't have to grind. So you're basically paying for a shortcut.
Yeah.
To me, that's worth something in itself, because time
I
is
think people
money.
will be very into XP boosts because they can be a ball ache if you want to take a week off.
Yeah.
God forbid, you can get left behind in the current system because there's always so many things that release XP. So I can see people going for that. I think the trouble they're going to have with balancing this is they will increase short-term revenue, but if they basically allow people to XP boost up to a certain point where they don't need to log in so often, then they lose their daily active users, which is bad for their share price. There's balance, obviously. Having more money in the bank's probably worth more than daily active users, but that's such an important metric for them now that if they impact that negatively and the revenue only goes up slightly, they're going to have issues like they had with just before Team of the Year this year, whereby they've got to pull some heavy levers to get people logging in to boost those quarterly earning results.
Yeah, can see that.
Isn't it bad though that like we're doing a podcast on this game and we find ourselves talking about like quarterly results on Beyond VA.
I mean,
this is
yeah.
it's such a big impact on the game now.
It's interesting to look at because it tells you basically that's a grade of how good they're doing. You know.
Yeah.
You were talking about SP and chasing earlier. Before we get off of that, did you see the? It's under the live tab and objectives. Team of the season, warm up, last chance SP chase. So if you are close, let's say you need 3,000-4,000 SP.
Yeah.
It's literally just play X amount of games, score X amount of goals, and it's 250, 250, 500, and it goes all the way up. It's easy SP to
It's pretty
get
cool.
if you need some. Yeah, I
I wonder if
utilize
they'll
it to
stop
finish.
doing that when we get the season pass.
Oh,
'Cause
absolutely.
At the end of
How
at the
mad
end of-
would you be if you bought it and they did this?
At the end of every season at the moment, in the last week, they just
They
throw
spread it
loads
on.
of it at you, don't they? You know, you can get 1,000 here, 1,000 there, 500 there for not a lot of games. I
I
imagine
think they're
that'll.
still going to do it.
Yeah, they probably will. They don't want to upset everyone. They've already got your money, haven't they?
Yeah.
And you'll forget big time. It's time to pay again.
They'll put a new season out with a bunch of new content, and you'll forget all about it. Spend
You
it again.
will, yeah. Take my money.
Yep, I love it.
We should work for EA. Like, we could be the ultimate
No
bastards
thanks. No,
I couldn't do it.
thanks.
for what we know.
Icon.
It's like, we could tell EA how to be even more evil.
They would have to pay me a lot of money, and I don't think they could do that.
I won't do it like I do. I play this game for fun, and if I worked there,
Oh, you wouldn't play the game, I guarantee you.
You'd play it a lot less.
yeah, it's not gonna be fun for you because like knowing what all the content that's coming out and I get it, you can be involved in creating the content and all that. Like I can't be asked. I want to play the content. I don't want to make it. Like maybe if you'd have asked me 5 years ago that question, it might have been different. But now I'm just like, I want to jump on this game and just switch off for an hour or two. I don't want to.
Play dickheads and get DMs after.
Exactly that. Yeah.
So
I wonder if we can get a season pass that'll get rid of dickheads.
No.
No.
There's way more of them than there are of us.
Thought I'd ask.
And one of us might be a dickhead.
I am
you know what
definitely
mean?
one sometimes.
Depends on the result of the game.
Yeah. Oh, don't get me started on game results.
What about matchmaking in co-op? Can I get you started on that?
Oh, really strange. This is like so fucking random.
That's the Paul Rage button.
Yeah. Since co-op came out, like you want to come up against other co-op players, don't you? And you rarely do,
I don't like going up against other co-op players.
don't you?
Mm.
Oh well, I just think it's fair, isn't it? You're both playing the same game then.
It's more interesting, but yeah.
But this last week, every time you play co-op, you're matching against other co-op, and I asked one or two people on Twitter, and they said, yeah, it's co-op v co-op all the time now. And me and Pompel were already talking, and we already thought there was something a bit different with the matchmaking. I was matching lots of people from Belgium, Holland, Germany, and I was like,
I bet that
That's-
gameplay was awesome.
that's
Oh, player count.
no,
I've been playing some Frenchies, like, and they see Mets in my name and they think I'm a Mets supporter and they start sending me shitty messages.
in French.
Yes.
Yeah.
Au revoir, bitch.
And so, yeah, I think they've been messing about with something when it comes to matchmaking this last week or two. I don't know what it is, but they've obviously done something. But you'd have thought they would be telling you that when you play co-op now, 'cause I feel like that's a bit of a selling point.
So it's co-op v co-op 100% of the time now?
Well, that's my experience, yeah.
Well, about co-op, I have my matchmaking set to solo, but I still get the occasional like guest to pop up on the screen, which is super annoying.
But that's only for when you're playing solo, right?
What do you mean?
If you're playing co-op, you can't turn that on or off, right?
I don't know. I've never played co-op, but what I'm saying is, why is it letting me match up against people who have a guest playing with them?
Oh,
When
because
my
Is that 'cause it's
matchmaking set
local?
to solo, it's
that's
super annoying.
couch play, innit?
They're
so
playing locally on
it's
the same
different
machine.
to having
But they
to
could turn
invite
that
a
off.
friend. Yeah.
They could
Yeah.
disable that, which is it a competitive mode? Is it champs?
Yeah, on Rivals and stuff.
I didn't think you could do that
Not
in
in
champs.
champs. Rivals you can, but not in champs.
Okay. I don't mind it in rivals. It is annoying, but it's
Yeah.
avoidable before you go into the game if you're looking at it. But I usually just look at my ping and then hit ready. But it can be annoying because those people always typically play the same way. They have like fast strikers and they just try to ping 1-2s and go through the back.
Yeah. What I did notice as well when we first figured this out, we played some really, really good players as well. Like, felt like more than our fair share of really good players. But that might just be the time of the year. Like,
Well, also too with the matchmaking, if you're only being matched with other co-op players, that player pool that you got to select from just got really small.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
for sure.
So you're going to have a really good team or a really shitty team. There's not going to be much middle ground in there, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, and it did seem like it were mostly pretty good players.
Yeah. Well, man, we've been going almost an hour. I think that's a good stopping point to
Yeah.
get ready for team of the season and whatever comes next week. Hopefully a bunch of Evos. What else you guys got? Anything?
No.
It's all good from me.
Cool. All right. Well, we appreciate everybody who tuned in to watch live and everybody who's supporting the podcast on the Patreon. Really appreciate everybody doing that, keeping everything going. And if you want to follow us, you can do it on X. You can follow Matt at Lambo Matt. And Paul, you can follow him at Right Foot.
So lame having foot in my fucking gamer tag. I'm gonna change
So
it.
fucking lame. You need to put effing in your gamer tag.
I do, yeah. I've tried in game. Don't let you in game.
What if you spelled it EFFIN?
Yeah, that's how I spell it, but no.
EPHIN?
We'll give that a try. We'll give that a try.
We'll figure it out. We'll crack the code. All right. We'll catch you guys next week. See you.
See ya.
In a business.